Oh. The time being 6:30, I will call the Ashland Planning Board meeting of October 16th, 2025 to order at 6:31. First thing on the agenda is the minutes from the September 18th meeting.
Pledge.
Roll call right before the pledge of allegiance. To the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, and roll call. Tricia.
Here.
Bethany.
Here.
And I'm Kendall and I'm here. Linda,
Here.
John Harville,
Here.
John Thomas.
Here.
Ann Barney.
Here.
And Donna is absent with notice. She is not feeling well tonight. So the first on the agenda will be the September 18th minutes.
Yeah, on page 7, lines 317 through 322. I'm not questioning any of the details. I think we may want to, I would propose wording it so it's a little clearer because it's such an important point.
Well, I'm sorry, lines where?
317 on page 7. The following few lines. The sentences just ended up being kind of run on, and I think because the point was so important, we might want to just clarify the language a little bit to make sure. So for example, planning board, Tricia Ferris, planning board member, spoke about the board's position that the board can and should accept a proposal that has active disputes. I'm not sure that's.
I believe it
exactly what
was.
you said.
Should not.
Should not, right. And then I would suggest a period at that point that is not in accordance with, and I would say section 5.1 of the site planning regulations, which state that all easements need to be accounted for. And I would suggest a period, then if, and then it says they, does that mean the applicants do not have legal access? The board can deny the application until, and I would say that dispute is resolved.
Yeah, abutters.
Or the abutters, okay. Until that dispute is resolved, as she feels it would not be an informed decision. I think just we need to clarify the language to make sure that it's so clear that nobody can kind of.
Okay.
quibble with
First
the
of
way
all,
to
it
put
is in accordance with 5.1,
Okay,
correct?
so we need to do that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I just, that's
So
the only
Trish-
thing, but.
Trish Ferris stated, planning board members spoke about the board's position that the board strike can and and insert not,
So should,
except a
Cannot or
proposal,
should not.
should not.
should not accept a proposal that has an active dispute, but that it is not in accordance,
See, that whole thing is just, the way it got caught is just not quite
so
clear.
strike, but that is not,
Or new sentence.
period.
So it has active disputes, period.
Yes, active.
And maybe
disputes.
we just say at section 5.1 of the site plan regulations.
So
state-
strike everything up to
Yeah.
5.1 of the site plan regulation, as that section states that all easements need to be in accordance for, and if they do not have legal access.
Well,
No,
Shouldn't it, the five should be properly delineated on the plans? Wasn't there something in reference to that?
that came later
Oh,
when
did
the
it?
Yeah,
butter was,
that
was
that
sort
will
of
come,
saying
that will
that.
come on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
like
and
page
that's all
9.
laid out very clearly.
Okay.
This is more summarizing the point
So-
that Tricia made, which is so important.
I I've got it ready.
You get,
Yeah.
And I don't think it's, yeah, ready? Okay, Tricia Ferris spoke about the board's position. I'm gonna read it out loud.
I want you to read it out loud.
Spoke about the board's position that that the board should not accept or approve a proposal if the site plan has an unresolved access dispute. In accordance with section 5.1 of the Town of Ashland Site Plan Review Regulations, all easements and access rights must be clearly shown and resolved prior to approval. Therefore, the board can deny the application until the dispute is resolved.
Yeah,
okay,
I'll just send it to you.
I think that's great. I mean, you made the point very clearly in the meeting. I
Right.
just want to make sure
Yeah,
that the
agreed.
minutes
Yeah.
Take now. too,
reflect
so you-
that, so there's no question if
just-
anyone
I'll just
challenges.
send it to me, I'll get it to.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
Catch, Linda. That's a really good catch.
Yeah, yes, thank you. I was more worried about that last, and that's what I was reading.
Yeah,
Just email it to you.
Yeah, that's fine,
I mean, I think the
CCJ.
points
yes.
summarized from the abutter are really well laid out. I just wanted to make sure that we
So-
could be caught up.
So this was a very, very difficult translation. It took, Marissa ended up doing it. It took her, I worked on it for over 4 hours. Marissa worked on it for over 8 hours, and to get to where it was understandable.
Yeah, yeah,
Thank you, Kendall.
yeah. Thank you very much. And
You're welcome.
thank
And
Marissa.
yeah, please pass on our thanks to Marissa.
Yes, could you believe me? Anything else?
Yeah, I had a question on page 8, under correspondence. Just suggesting clarification lines 395 and 396. The federal government has declared that the places around Squam River are now in a floodplain. Can we just clarify the places? What does that, what's the actual?
The Squam River as it runs through town.
Right, okay, but the places around the Squam River, I don't think that.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Abutting the Squam River.
Places abutting Squam River,
Okay.
abutting shouldn't have been added in.
All
there.
right, would it be sites, properties?
Properties.
abutting?
Properties.
Okay,
Properties abutting
Yeah.
Squam River.
okay.
Specifically, what has come to my attention is where Carr Avenue, Mill Street, and running down through into the mill. One of those houses had over 3 feet of water in it. It's actually happened twice
Wow.
recently. And it's up 10 feet from the water. I mean, the water had severely come up. One was a 2008 flood.
Okay. Those were the things I noticed.
Okay. What line was that again?
That was, page 8, it was line 395 and 396.
Okay. All right. Do we have anything else? Do we have any motions?
I motion to accept the minutes
As
Okay.
amended.
as amended.
I have a
Second.
motion to accept by. Seconded by Tricia.
Are we using whatever technology this is to capture like actual scripts so that we have?
When the secretary is not here, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we paid for the AI conversion.
Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Those abstaining.
Okay.
So, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 1. 4, 0, 1. Okay. The minutes of October 2nd.
On 115, where it says William Hess representing Hilt, should that be Brendan Hiltz?
Brandon Hiltz.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's,
Anything else?
I think on line 152. John, correct me if I'm wrong, but John Thomas on line 152, isn't Jana's name, is that Jana?
Yes.
And we need the last name there too as well.
It's Flores, Flores hyphen John, Jon.
And it's J what?
Jana.
Okay.
And then last name is.
Laura John.
Flores, Flores. Flores.
All right. Any other corrections? Do I have a motion?
Move to accept as amended.
And a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I.
Those,
Opposed.
opposed. And abstaining. One,
Right.
two. So. Okay. That brings us to. If you all don't mind, I'm just gonna go to the bottom of the agenda and bring Mr. Hess to speak with us. Unless you wanna stay at the bottom.
I'll come up, it's all right. I got the new puppy at the office by itself for the first time with no crate, so. We'll see what happens when I get back.
I did that today and there was a debit card that was destroyed.
Yeah. Well, thank the board for seeing me again. It's been a wonderful monthly visit. Next time, let's do dinner instead. Way more entertaining. So since the last meeting, obviously the last meeting, we had not notified the town of Ashland, so that was our error. We have now, so I think we are clear. The DES has done their site visit, and again, I do apologize that none of us were notified, until the letter came in. And they are happy with what they've seen. They say he's in compliance, with the AOT permit that we've received to reclaim the site to a stable, environmentally friendly site. Not what it was before, but to what we can bring it back to. We did notice, as I'm trying to cross my T's and dot my I's, so we don't do this again if I can avoid it. That we missed some overlay districts on the existing conditions plan. We did have Horizons, the engineer of record, amend their plan, which we received today. We have emailed to the town, and I did bring 3 copies. Just showing the aquifer and the well protection limit, and these 3 are for you guys, but just wanted to see that we did show those on the plan now.
So those would be in addition to the other ones, right?
Yes, yep, yeah, so that's gonna replace the existing conditions plan that's there, the boundary plan. It's just, we added in those
Yeah.
overlays.
Okay.
He has applied and sent his intent to excavate to the state or to the town. The town, I don't know if the town has sent to the state yet, but it has come to the town for signature and then to go to the state. And I think that's kind of where we're at now. I do have some updated truck slips, which I will get over. I will total and get over to you guys, and we'll continue to do that as we go. He's gonna be doing that for the state as well, for the tax purposes at the end of the year, for the taxes for you guys on March 31st.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions on his presentation? Does anyone have any questions on the application? I have met with Jane, and she has assured me that the application is fully complete and that all butters now have been notified. That was the only thing that we were waiting on previously.
Do we need to vote? To accept
We
it as
do.
complete.
We do need to accept the application as complete. Is that a motion? Sure. Hey, Linda moves.
I'll second.
Any discussion? See it. Okay. Hearing none, I will ask for a vote to all those in favor of accepting the application for site plan review, commercial earth excavation as complete, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Okay,
We have discussion of.
now we can have discussion of the his plan. Go ahead.
I have a question where we intend to remove material in accordance with the approved DES AOT reclamation plan. This is the one that we have on file.
Yes. So to clarify, what you are doing, or what Mr. Hiltz will be doing, is only doing the work that is required by the DES AOT permit to bring it to a stable condition as outlined in their permit. No
Yes.
other work will be done,
No other work will be done. Nope.
okay? Does anyone have any questions or discussions?
Do you know that you're sharing the room now?
It's not online now.
Okay.
It's not being recorded right now. The meeting is, but not what I'm
Just making
doing.
sure.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah,
Okay, does anyone have any questions?
I just had a question about how this has been monitored and
Well, I would suggest that we, and no disrespect to you, appoint a third-party person to monitor and review. Right?
yeah, third party engineer.
Third-party engineer, as we have done with other projects. And I'm going to propose that that be KV Partners. Okay, because they are very familiar with AOT and
work with them.
stuff with them.
I work with them a lot, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
All right. So, take one, pass it around. I have a motion that I would like to read in this if no one has any further discussion. Motion to approve book 4616, page 10, assessors map 214, lot 15. The application for excavation required for the applicant to fulfill the DES AOT permit without further excavation. To appoint a third party to review and ensure that that only the DES AOT permit is used to restore the previously uncommitted disturbed land to the approved stable condition as outlined in the AOT permit. The debris from the previous unpermitted blasting must be cleaned up from the neighboring properties. There shall be no further encroachments on neighboring properties, and the applicant shall flag the boundary lines with safety tape, so we know where they are. Furthermore, the applicant must follow all requirements for working within the wellhead protection area and will strictly adhere to the Town of Ashland commercial excavation regulation. I also move to appoint KV Partners as a third-party review and for an escrow account of $10,000 to be set up and renewed upon request. Do I have a second? Linda will second it. Do I have any discussion? Are you ready for the vote?
You stand by one.
Yep.
so I do have a question. So KV Partners would not only, would do two things. They would ensure the compliance with the DES AOT permit. Would they also be looking at the abutting properties?
There won't be,
Or is there, in other words, something to ensure that the debris from the cleanup from the neighboring property?
we will end up having somebody do a site walk up there.
Okay.
So most likely myself and maybe the abutter
Okay, should we
or
clarify
their
then that
representative.
KV Partners for third-party review would be of the
We'll
compliance,
review the DES
the
AOT permit.
DSAOT,
Sure.
because it's not including then the review of the, what happens on the abutter properties.
We won't know the encroachment until we flag it. We know the extent. Another question, I've been doing the stormwater management EPA stuff.
Yep.
Am I to continue that or will KV Partners take that over?
I think you'll continue
Okay,
that, cause
yeah.
you've been doing it.
Yep, okay.
He'll, if, Ray Corver will be the one. that you
Yeah,
need.
we'll add Ray to the
We'll send
email
Ray.
chain.
Yep.
So he can-
Yep.
he can
And then
address
if he
it.
has any questions, he will contact.
Yep.
You
Yep,
and
like I
us.
said, I've worked with Ray plenty on these, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just in terms of delineating the tasks of KV Partners so that that's clear and.
Yeah.
Subsequent.
I have one clarification, on the delineation of the property line,
Mhm.
completely understand, it's a huge property, obviously, and we've only disturbed kind of this area. So
Only
just these two property lines, just to,
Only
yeah,
the area.
Yep.
Close to where you would disturb. it.
Okay.
I know it is slightly flagged, but it is, some of those are wearing off and everything, and it just needs to be redone so that we
Yep, yeah.
can see where it is.
I can have, Mr. Hiltz call Horizons, who did the original survey, and have them do
Yeah.
that.
We just need to redo it.
Clarify that in the motion. Yeah, okay.
It's already in there, says it'll be done.
Mhm.
Any other discussion? So we have an amendment to it to move to appoint KV Partners as a third-party review and to ensure that all DOT, AOT our requirements are fulfilled.
Mhm. So,
Do we,
motion to accept the amended,
motion to accept amended by Linda?
I'll second.
All those in favor of accepting the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, and now on the motion, all those to accept the amended. The motion as amended, say aye. Opposed? Motion passes unanimously on both. We will get that out to you as well.
Yep, and then I'll obviously send to my client, and
Yep,
then KV will take over from there, yes.
so
Well, they'll, yeah. well,
Yeah, yeah, I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
like I said, Ray and I have
We'll
worked very
work
closely.
together with each
Yeah,
other.
we've worked very closely before in the past on many
Yeah.
jobs, so.
Yeah, so just get a check to town hall and I'll have the treasurer set up an escrow account.
Yep.
And then, as the billing happens, she'll get the detail, or Sister Hills will get the detail.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Nope, I appreciate the board's patient with this matter. It's been ongoing and I'm glad we came to a resolution and get this all behind us all.
Yep.
sounds great.
All
Look
right.
forward to seeing you next month.
Next month, yeah. Oh, yeah, we'll see you next month. All right, at least it's a different one.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Alrighty, that brings us to impact fees. Pick stuff too and pass it on, please.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
just. Lisa sent me out a name that says everything on there
Mm-hmm.
that can be used. I wouldn't let this get out.
What?
It's got all the numbers on the bottom.
Yeah,
Yes,
well,
well, if you didn't show it, it wouldn't.
You shouldn't have given it to us. But
You get it, it's received in all your package every time. It's part of it, everyone's,
I have never gotten a copy of that.
it's in there. It's stapled in there somewhere.
I dispute that.
Okay. I do understand what you're saying
Yeah,
and
I
agree
just-
with it.
Maybe if we can just take a permanent marker to the bottom of it next time. just make it a
Yeah.
little bit-
Just take the top two,
Sorry.
pass the rest around to me.
hey, just get her on
Can we
duty.
take control of it?
No, not yet. That's what I need Once everyone's got all that, then we'll do that.
Okay, so you don't want you don't want this to go out yet?
Not quite yet.
Okay, pass that back to Kendra.
Yeah, just hold on before you has that.
That's fine. Okay, so impact fees. What you have here, you may have gotten this back in like March or something.
Mhm.
It tells us what we have to do, how we have to do it to establish the impact fees. We have to decide a whole bunch of stuff on how we want to do it. The next part that Bethany is gonna start passing out. And I can't remember if it's 1 page or 2 pages.
Stand by, I will separate it for you.
One of the requirements, you have to have a functioning CIP.
We do, that is one of the requirements, that we have to have a CIP committee set up throughout the town with an assessed of what it is that the impact fees are going to impact.
So if
Fred
it
had-
was back to back, now it is not back to back, that one.
Fred was working on it with the department heads. I know the fire department had worked on it. I don't know
So
where
some of them are
that
back
falls
to back.
within the other
And some of them-
communities, but we also have to look at what it is that we are requiring for an impact. Is it anything over $10,000, anything over $50,000? What is it?
Look, how did we end up with Chinese characters?
Those guys, that too, do that.
Oh, that's my printer. What did it do?
You have a Chinese phone?
Oh, you just, no, it just included a bunch of Chinese characters, some of which I recognize, others of which I don't.
That's interesting.
These are 2 pictures. One is back to back.
The F.
And,
Yeah.
FX.
So the other documents that I'm sending out to you is what the city of Lebanon has done. Okay, I have a good friend up there who,
Not this one.
I live there. for a while.
It's coming around.
Yep.
Your last. Sorry.
oh, that's right. Is that for you?
Thanks.
And there's that for you. So this just shows how they do their assessment, right? And then this last page here is what is it? It's 2 pages. What is it and how it works, and it's an easier explanation than the demystified one.
I'll pick.
I like this one page from people like me. What is an impact?
So it's different ways for people to understand what it is. right?
It's time limit on the, when you see.
Yeah, so the big thing is, and what, I actually was talking to a gentleman recently from Lebanon about it. And what the big thing is that once you assess it, you keep it in a pot type thing. You have 6 years to expend that. If you do not expend it within the 6 years, then it goes back to the developer. Okay, and you have to clarify in your ordinance what it is that can legally be spent upon. So it can't just be, just say,
Can't go to
Infrastructure.
general fund.
cannot go to the general fund. There's a big lawsuit about that because a community, that's what they tried to do, was just say, well, we're gonna put it in the general fund.
They tried to offset their shortfall.
Exactly. They were not able to do that. Can't do it. It has to go to a specific thing related to the project. Now, that can be emergency services, but you have to clearly show how it has impacted it. So if you have a development that says, because of the size of the development and the number of calls that they keep going to, you average out the calls, and that requires an officer or 2 officers, then you can put some to the police department to pay for that. If it requires an ambulance or something, you can put to the capital reserve fund for the ambulance. More importantly for us, however, is probably gonna be more towards the electrical infrastructure and the water and sewer infrastructure, as well as stormwater management. So there's a lot there. I give this to you to read. No decisions are made tonight. It's just information so that we're gonna move this forward. In all likelihood, we are not gonna have this on the ballot for March. I would
Why?
like to, but we
I
may
think you
not.
should try hard to
I
do
think
that.
we should.
Well, I think we
Yeah.
should too, but it's gonna, the biggest problem is gonna be the capital
But it's the
improvements
IT
committee.
Yep.
So,
Which committee?
so that's gonna fall on the town manager to do.
I don't think there is a committee yet.
There was a committee, yeah.
No,
There was a committee a number of years ago, but it fell by the wayside. So we need to, again, that will be up to the selectmen and the town manager to get that going again.
Fine.
Okay,
No problem.
no problem.
Add to the list.
Um. Zoning amendments, right now, compact zone will be a zoning amendment, which will be going forward at town meeting. And I'm doing, Matt, I'm gonna skip down a little bit here. Because it's related, the master plan. The Economic Development Committee has sent me this very large file that I need to go through. I have not gone through it. About the economic impact and where we were, and where we stand for the board. But what I would like to ask your permission for tonight is to set up a master plan steering committee by asking all of the town committees, clubs, and organizations to send a representative to a meeting and start rolling with that. So, and I would, it would be a very large group that we would set up. It would include the churches, it would, any committees and any group of people that normally regularly meet, we would include in it. So it will be a very large committee. But, it's to get it started, so we have a very wide concept of each of the different things, if that's okay with all of you.
And how are we?
A big net.
Yeah, and how are we involved in that?
We are the ones who are in control of the master plan.
Right.
The master plan is ours. So we are the ones that have to set up the committees and everything.
Okay.
So I'm asking for your permission to send a letter out to everybody, asking if they will. We'll pick a date. Probably in January to meet. Again, although as much as I would love to do the master plan this year, it's not realistic.
That's not feasible.
It is not feasible at all, no matter what we do. It is something which will be on the 2027 warrant.
Great.
Do you want to, if you pull together a list of all the groups that you're gonna write to, do you want to send or have us look at the list just to see if there's anything else that occurred? Can we
Yeah,
help- can we
that's
help with
fine.
that?
I will, yeah, I can send that list to each of you. I will do a shared document
Okay,
like we have in the past that will list out,
yeah,
where we're sending it to.
Sounds great.
And then you can all add to it.
Yeah.
Okay,
you want us to add contact information if we add something?
if you have it, that would be wonderful. All right, that brings us, which is really part of the zoning stuff, to the multi-use zone. So, I believe Linda has passed out. Each of you got it when we first got here.
This is just,
We have extra copies.
Kendall asked me to just go through the updated files that Jane had put together and to mark on it what we had as a group decided that should be eliminated for mixed use. And so that's what I passed out. I may have gotten something wrong. The way I did it, to make it easier to see, was to indicate which ones we crossed out altogether. That's with the lines through them. And then, I added a couple of notes that didn't come up in our meeting, but just for discussion. One was under multifamily dwelling. I think we talked about limiting the number of
We
units.
did talk about eliminating it
And
to
was it
6.
6? Okay,
Yeah.
so I thought that's what we had said. I wanted to be sure.
Not families, eliminate it to 6 units.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
You
that,
can't limit families, but you
Right.
can limit units.
okay, I can make a correction
Yeah.
and send that, okay. Then there are new state laws about ADUs, and I'm not sure that the way we've laid this out with, you know, some special exceptions and so on, meets the new terms of state law, and I didn't have a chance today to look at that. One of the things I told Kendall is, John and Tim Peters and I went to the Lakes Region Planning Commission meeting where they went over all of the new state laws that affect zoning and planning and so on. And then at the meeting that we went to more recently, there was a different presentation reviewing changes to state laws. I'm trying to merge the two because some of them are gonna have a real impact on removing a lot of local autonomy, number one. And number two, we have to make sure that our ordinances match the approved state laws. So that's one category. There's a second category of state laws that have not been finally voted on. So they are not yet in effect, some of which are gonna have a big impact on the towns. So I'm gonna try to merge those so we can talk about them to see what needs to come up for warrant articles, ideally for March, and so we can explain this stuff to the town. Anyway, I wanna just double check the
Yeah.
ADU law to make sure we're in compliance.
Absolutely. Checking it, make sure we're in compliance. We can, but we will go ahead with what we have.
Mhm.
And then if we find out that the state law changes, like in the next round or something, that automatically changes ours because it supersedes us.
Okay,
So in that regard, we're fine.
so I think the two things that concern me in that connection are making sure that if there are existing laws, that we add them to warrant articles so that our ordinances are explicitly in compliance. So that's one thing. The second thing, though, which I've mentioned to you, is there are some ordinances that have not yet gone into effect because final votes have not been taken. And I think that I would suggest that that may be something to educate the public about, because some of them are gonna have a real impact on what people can do. And so I would just propose that I'll try to separate out which are the things that are not yet in effect to see if we have any discussion of those or any
Right.
thoughts about those.
Also, that some of those proposed things that have not gone into effect yet,
Right,
there are new legislation coming in to change those as well.
okay,
So we don't know what those will be, so we can only put into our ordinance what
the ones that.
what
have
is
come into
currently
effect.
existing.
Okay,
Again, whatever the legislature decides to do, the legislature decides to do, and if it changes our ordinances, so be it.
Yeah.
But what it is today is what we have to worry about.
so the ones that have gone into effect, I think as a board, it would be good if we're up to speed.
Absolutely. And
On what
and if you
those
want
are,
to put a
some-
presentation together on that, that would be wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you. Thought you volunteered for that.
Yeah, I can do that. What I'm trying to do is merge the two presentations so that we're not skipping back and forth between them, and Shanna Saunders gave, I thought, good explanations of a lot of these changes, and I recorded that session. I have the transcript, so I'm trying to distill it all into something we can use more easily so that we get up to speed on ordinances that are in effect, both for our understanding and also if we need to propose warrant articles.
So the changes that we've made on this thus far is single family is permitted. Two-family dwellings are permitted. Multi-family dwellings up to 6 units are permitted. Accessory dwellings are permitted and may have to have a special exception, depending upon what is being proposed. Okay. We are not doing cluster developments, professional and business offices, banking facility offices excluding drive-throughs, commercial services, we're not doing those, commercial repairs, we're not doing. Moving to the next page. We are not doing wholesale and retail trade. agricultural, as seen in Article 4C5. We are doing, yeah, with a, may require a special exception and may be permitted. Agriculturalism is with a special, agritourism, sorry, is with a special exception.
What is agritourism?
Agritorialism would be if you say we have an active beekeepers thing in town. And say they decided to build a building that had educational thing that talks about what beekeeping is and how beekeeping works. And then they have their hives out there and they periodically bring a group of people in to show them beekeeping and how everything works and to educate the public. That is agritourism.
Okay.
And it brings people in. The Science Center of New Hampshire is an agritorial.
Right.
Yeah, with the Loon Center.
Yeah, the Loon Center would be, so places like that. Good thing to have in your community, encouraging it and, yeah. Accessory buildings incidental to the principal structure, that would be, permitted. It may also require a special exception.
I think the law now says we are required to let anybody pretty much set up anything as an ADU. That's what I.
But this is not necessarily an ADU.
Mhm.
This could be a barn. It could be a, non-living structure.
So you're talking.
And that's where it may require,
It'd be
A
like,
special
it'd be
exception.
like Frudenberg having their engineering building out back.
Right.
And their production
yeah.
forward.
Yeah.
It'd be-
This would be more in the lines of a woodshed.
Yeah.
Cause think of the area, this is from the Holderness town line into the town of Ashland, against, on the non-lake side.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The
Okay.
question came up at, and you know, remember this as well. So suppose someone built a boat shed or a boathouse.
Mhm.
And then decided a couple of years later they wanted to convert it to an ADU. They would have to, in the initial building, follow all the regulations about building a boathouse. But then 3 years later, there would be nothing that would stop them from turning it into an ADU, according to the new law.
No, that,
Did I
you
misunderstand?
may, so the new law also requires that they follow the building code and the fire code.
Mhm.
And the fire code very well may stop them from doing that.
Okay.
Because of the, accessibility
Mhm.
and the, it's a mixed use building with mixed use, chemicals and stuff in it. So,
Yeah, it's kind of tough to put a separation in a boathouse. You know, a fire rating.
right, so we currently have boathouses with a living space
Mhm.
above, and that is fine. However, it cannot be a sleeping space
Mhm.
by law and code.
Okay.
And the fire code is a big part of that.
So we may want to stipulate that when we lay this out, just so that we don't get called out by the state saying, no, that's not what, you know.
You just,
Well, that's what the incidental to principal structures means,
Okay.
so. But yes. We can put non-living,
shall meet all currently adopted
yes,
building codes.
everything has to mean, yeah. Home occupation. Again, that would require a special exception. Possibly. Not necessarily. Okay. A bed and breakfast is fine without motels or hotels or inns. Again, this is because of the area that it's in. Restaurants excluding drive-throughs, so we have that here as
Struck permitted.
conditional use and special exception. So it is not a permitted, so they would have to come before us and get a special exception. We struck out medical, educational, daycares. There is a question about new laws. The daycare what we're talking about here is not your home
So you're
daycare.
not talking about, so that was my question,
Right.
because you can't restrict in-home as long
Right.
as they're following
What-
state
And
standards.
that's not what this is saying. This is saying, a daycare in line of like Antlers in Plymouth.
Mhm.
So a big industrial building has become a,
How would we stipulate, well, if we're just removing it, how do we? Do we need anything that says, in-home daycare? is
nope,
allowed?
that's covered already in our, zoning
Okay,
ordinance.
so we don't need to say that,
No.
okay.
If
And again,
there's-
this is only for this corridor.
So, Linda, with in-home, just because that's what I started out doing,
Mhm.
not in-home, but working for. If a single family dwelling is permitted, or a two-person dwelling is permitted, then an in-home is.
Mhm. Okay.
So,
Right,
And there are stipulations on that. By the state on the number of people versus the number of kids, and so it's highly regulated.
Mhm.
Professional, business, offices, banks, financial offices, commercial services, repairs, facilities, and restaurants with drive-throughs are not permitted. That facilities is from the other page, and congregate dwellings are not permitted. So we've really limited it down considerably. Again, this area would be, from the Holdness Town line at Route 3 and 25 to Cottage Street on the right side of the road and to come into town, and then from Cottage Street to Main Street and Cottage Street to Main Street, on Main Street, both sides of the road there. So when you get to that little intersection there, after Cottage Street, you start having buildings on both sides of the road there. It includes that area there.
Should you delineate, put verbiage in there, north, south, east, west, whatever you're traveling? Just so it's a little,
I think it says towards town when you're driving towards
Okay.
town.
Yeah, it does say from the Holdness Town line at Route 3 to Cottage Street
oh, okay,
on the right side of the road as you come into town.
Okay.
Then from Cottage Street to Main Street. The second Main Street should be taken out. Yes. Main Street on both sides of the road. And then we have this from West Street to the end, which is the end of, Mr. Hiltz's lot. So it would go through the commercial into the residential, that has not been developed yet.
are you talking both sides of the road again?
That would be both sides of the road, yeah.
I would say so,
You'd say what?
both sides of the road.
Yes, that would be both sides of the road.
right, but
No,
say so.
I'm saying that I would put that in there.
We, that is, I follow that down and it's up in the middle of the road. I gotta get where.
Yeah.
You need help?
I don't think so. He says a police officer, so I just gotta get where. Okay.
Sorry, guys. The new
No
one?
problem.
No. I gotta do mine on the whole car.
Which one of you would like to be elevated?
Rock, paper, scissors.
John must be able to.
All right, so I,
you're not tall enough, all right?
at 7:19, Tricia has to leave for a family emergency, and I appoint John Thomas in her place. Okay, and what is currently there existing is not affected by this.
Mhm.
Okay. Intersection from Winona Road and 132 Main Street. Oh, from the intersection of Winona Road at 132, the intersection there, to down Main Street to Industrial Drive. Do we want to keep that in there, or do we want to strike that out? That is definitely a mixed-use area. We have a whole bunch of houses.
Yeah, we do.
We have nothing in here that would preclude it from happening there.
Mhm.
We do have a restaurant in there, which restaurants are approved. We would want restaurants in there anyways, but we do not have the space to have a drive-through restaurant there. And this is down to the ballpark, basically.
Mhm.
After the ballpark, it opens up and you can have drive-through restaurants like we,
Like Burger King and.
right.
Yeah,
Dunkin' Donkey.
Yeah. Mhm.
we know the important ones, John.
Yeah, please.
No.
I-
So this would be the corridor that we'd originally been talking about, but it would be expanded to include that area in downtown.
Well, that was on the original
Was it?
proposal,
Okay,
yeah.
was that, okay.
That part hasn't changed.
You mean Depot Street, Route 132 North?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm thinking that we should just strike the whole thing about West Street though. Cause you have a big lot down there, that is, Burger King that potentially could be changing. You have, you have, several other lots that could, the Burger King is looking at. You have, Delitates and everything that they're doing down there. So you might wanna just make it from Delitates outward or to just strike it for now.
Striking it for now wouldn't affect what people can do in that area, right?
Correct, to keep it the way it is.
Is there any reason not to?
What is it zoned
So-
right now?
It is zoned, commercial.
You do have residential in there as
You
well.
do have residential in there. Residential was pre-existing.
Yeah.
So if you look on the map there, can you bring up the intersection for? All right, right there. So as you turn in, you have, the lot owned by the town where his cursor is right there.
Mhm.
Then you have, that's a house lot, but that's actually on hillside.
Mhm.
Then you have, these are individual house lots going up the side of there. And then you have an industrial type situation with,
No.
The
Lower
propane and
pits.
the propane and.
yeah, and if you go across the street down, we have, the first lot is Mr. Hiltz's office building. Then we have a gas station.
Mhm.
Then we have a, 6-unit condo building that has businesses in it. Then you have Burger King. Which is, if you look at Burger King, that's a very, very large lot that
I
could be,
didn't realize it was that large.
yeah, it's huge. It could be utilized for some other stuff. It has recently been sold.
3.8,
Yes.
3.8
Yes. Burger King was sold, what, a week and a half ago?
To,
To a person who's looking to do something there. So maybe he may keep it as Burger King, he may change it to something else.
Kentucky Fried.
Yeah, there are
Wendy.
conditions within his sale that allows him to do stuff.
and is,
Now you're talking.
Then we have a, multi-unit hotel, which would not be allowable in this district. It would only be allowed because it's grandfathered.
mhm.
So you have three things right there that are
I
against it.
honestly think that we should just keep it as is.
Okay.
And strike that,
Yeah.
and the reason why is because I feel like that portion of land can ebb and flow.
Mhm.
And I don't know if that area, we should be restricting it to just mixed use.
Mhm.
Right, so keep it as commercial as it
Yeah.
is. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
I'm agreeing with you.
Clarification question, within commercial, does the state law now say you can't prevent residences from?
That is correct.
Okay, so it doesn't stop anybody from doing something like if they wanted to build a home. they can.
Correct.
Okay,
Does not preclude that.
yeah, okay.
And our zoning ordinance does not preclude that.
Mhm. Okay.
The only district that you cannot build a residential structure in is anything that is marked industrial commercial.
Okay,
So we will strike number 2. You all in agreement with that?
Yeah.
But we'll keep number 3.
It'll be number 2 now.
Right, number 2 becomes number 3, yeah. That would be the Main Street area.
Mhm.
Okay.
Can,
yeah.
I'm sorry. This is just my OCD. Can we do underneath, like, so we have 1A, can we do AA, BB, CC, DD instead of the number it again? Cause you go right back into the numbering.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can do that how we want this. It just happened to be the way my computer
Mhm.
put it out. Okay, and then we will include a geographic area, a map of that, which will probably end up being a hyperlink to this map.
But you can do snippets, so you could do a
Right.
snippet of West Street.
Right,
Well, you're taking that out, but the ones you are gonna include, you could do a snippet shot
right.
Mhm.
for an educational presentation
Mhm.
at the deliberative session, right? You'd wanna educate everybody at the deliberative,
Oh, good God. Yes, we would.
Yes.
right?
Yep.
I think the other thing too is you're gonna have to, you're gonna have potential worries about what this would mean for an area that's residential. I think when we do that public education, the fact that there is existing mixed use already,
Mhm.
so it's
So,
sort of.
so this
codified.
doesn't change what is already there.
Right,
It just allows what's already there to continue to have more of what's already
right.
there.
And I think, for all the people who've been concerned about things like Dewdrop Inn, this legitimizes something like that being there.
It could, yes.
Without doing spot zoning, it's just saying, okay, it redefines, so I think in terms of how to present this to the townspeople.
Right.
So that it doesn't feel like.
What
it's
this does
stereotyping
is
their
it precludes, large scale development of stuff.
Mhm.
Keeps everything on a local level,
Village
on a
scale.
village level. Yes, ma'am.
Since we took out West Street,
Yeah.
if you drop down in 2, it says, while still providing workable venue for mixed use growth near the interchange of the state highway and Interstate 93, I would just propose that we take out the near the interchange of the state highway and just leave it as for mixed use growth.
Mhm.
Yeah, I knew that was gonna be
Mhm.
taken out. I just
Sorry.
didn't get down to it yet.
Mhm.
Okay.
You stepping all over your toes tonight.
No, you're fine. Can you read number 2 out loud? So.
Absolutely. General purpose and district characteristics. Intended to guide growth while preserving a rural, small town character, include the establishment of a mixed-use district with single and multi-family housing and commercial establishments on a traditional village scale, which will foster pedestrian use, promote safe traffic patterns, reduce curve cuts, and encourage shared parking and driveways wherever feasible and prudent. Within the mixed-use district, a principal structure may itself be mixed use. For example, a residential apartment. Take out the A, residential apartment. May be located on the floor above a commercial establishment. The purpose of this district is to allow for increased density in limited areas while also reflecting a more nuanced understanding of the area's unique geography. Provisions for frontage or secondary access roads are required in this district to serve better the community's concern for preserving scenic views and an attractive rural character while still providing a workable venue for mixed use growth.
I think that pretty well sums it right up.
Mhm. And in another meeting, we had talked about sort of applying some of the requirements for bed and breakfast in terms of, making sure that there's, like trees or hedges. or
Yeah, so-
whatever.
so-
Where would that be in there?
That is in, a regular zoning ordinance.
Mhm.
And we addressed that last year. That's what was voted on. That was part of what was voted on last year. So that has a 6-foot privacy
Mhm,
fence.
Right,
All of that's already in there from what we voted last year.
right. So I'm thinking we had, in another meeting, we talked about, can we take that and apply it to mixed use?
Yes, so that would automatically If it's a bed and breakfast thing, that automatically goes into it because you have those two sections of the ordinance.
Okay, cause I know Andy had raised concerns when we were talking about setbacks and so on and so forth. So I just didn't know whether we need to build any of.
All setbacks will remain the same throughout the entire document.
Okay.
But no, I fully agree. We definitely need that. All this does is delineate this area.
Mhm.
Once you go to say, okay, I wanna do a bed and breakfast, then you will go to the bed and breakfast sort of the zoning ordinance. And all of that will still apply. This just allows it in this district.
Okay, so, got it. So, because we had talked about, okay, well, where would parking have to be and so on.
Right. As
So-
outlined in that section.
Okay,
already.
so then it goes back to the other
right.
ordinances. This, as you're saying, this just allows it to be there. But the other ordinances say how it has to be there, right?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Do you need a motion?
I need a motion to accept this with the changes that we have made. And then, I will,
I so motion.
and then we will send it to, Nathan and get this back PDQ. Okay,
I'll make that motion.
okay, so Bethany makes the motion to,
Approve the proposed mixed use zone as amended.
and do a second.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes 5-0. And we will send it to, I'll finish getting this typed up and send it to the town manager, who will send it to her, to Nathan.
Okay.
Yep.
Linda, do you have, anything additionally you wanted to say about your LRPC meeting?
Yes, please.
Or John?
Yeah, well, this was a separate meeting, not the one that John attended. This is one that we had, and John, I apologize, because we should have told you about this and you're sort of scrambling. Were you on the email list that Shannon was sending around? And
Yeah, I had a meeting in Boston that
Okay,
day.
then thank you, okay,
Yeah.
then I will absolve myself of feeling terribly about it. Okay, so this Tuesday, the executive director of Lakes Region Planning Commission, Shanna Saunders, she had in the meeting that Kim Peters, John, and I attended, had offered to meet with the town. And so these are my notes from our meeting on
Right.
Tuesday, so you should have that.
You also
And-
have a copy.
She had offered to come and meet with us, to go over with us things that the LRPC could do for the town or help us with. So we followed up, set that up, held the meeting on Tuesday. Hannah came, Ron Beard, Tim Peters, I and Jane attended the meeting. So these are the, my attempt to pull together notes along with action items and who was designated to do what. Do you want me just to recap?
Yeah, you don't have to go over this, just
Yeah.
recap the important parts
The
of this.
important parts were, I think, what LRPC can try to help us do with bringing money in to support initiatives in the town. And so I think a couple of key areas. One is in cleaning up brownfields. And as she explained it, the first thing we need to apply for is what's known as an assessment grant. The select board will need to vote to proceed with developing this grant application, and that's one of your action items, is to make sure they agree to do that. But an assessment grant, or to ask them to vote to agree.
Right.
The purpose of an assessment grant is the town proposes a list of 4, 5, 6 brownfields that need remediation.
Or properties that may.
Or properties that may have toxic stuff,
Right.
yes. And
Cause we don't have that many.
we don't have that many, but
I don't want
there
it
may,
out there that we're a full of
Right, no, we're
brownfield.
not riddled with brownfields, but there are properties in town that,
That could be compromised.
yeah,
One that we may want to consider is the newly vacant, Gordonberg property.
yes, and as well as the Mill Pond area. But the first is to apply for an assessment grant, and that's to kind of catalog what are the areas in town that would need that kind of cleanup and a projected cost for each one. Because without that data, you can't apply for cleanup funding. Individual owners cannot apply for grants to do that cleanup from the government. However, a town can. This assessment would put these properties on the radar of the EPA, which means they would start contacting owners to say, you have to do cleanup. Many owners are not, either are not in a position to spend that money or are not going to want to, and therefore may have greater incentive to sell the land. If, in certain cases, if the town, and I'm not assuming the town would, but if the town were to buy those properties, the town could then apply for cleanup money that would make those properties more interesting to possible developers and would give the town more control over who might come in. And that would be, you know, with input from voters and all the different stakeholders as to, and that I think would tie in with master plan as well. What is the vision for the community? And are there properties in which the town might want to be more involved to get cleaned up so that those properties might lend themselves to the kind of thing that we lay out in the master plan? Am I saying that clearly? Okay, so there are a bunch of different steps, but the first is to do an assessment of where things stand and what it would cost to clean things up. And then, you know, property owners can be involved in that process. They're not excluded from the assessment. Some of them might rather not have it happen because that then brings attention to all the cleanup they have not done and imposes more requirements that they take care of it. Some may not want to have to do that. But I think it gives the town different kind of leverage over some of those property owners that we currently have not had. So anyway, the action item there is asking the select board to vote to move ahead with applying for to fund this process of assessment. Did I say, is that clear? There are transportation funding opportunities. And at least for a while, the town has not sent representation to those meetings. So Tim and I volunteered as sort of an extension of what we're doing with LRPC to attend those meetings and bring information about opportunities back to the decision makers in town. It doesn't involve us in making those decisions.
Right.
It's just be serving as conduit for information.
Right, through the LRPC.
Yeah,
Okay.
and the select board would need to appoint us
Right, that's what I
to
was
send
thinking.
those meetings, right? We can't just say, oh, we're volunteering.
Yeah.
It has to
Craig's
be,
the only one right now.
That's what I thought.
and he has
He hasn't
not,
He
attended
does
any.
not attend
he
those.
does not attend.
I
them.
remember having this discussion with the board
Right.
a couple months ago.
And so this is not to, I mean, Craig is flat out, this is not to say anything
No,
about
he's too
Craig.
busy to.
He's too busy,
He really
but
is.
we're missing out on possible opportunities.
Mhm.
And so this is just to try to bring information back, both for the select board and to help Craig.
The other thing is those meetings tend to be, I believe, in the afternoon,
Uh-huh.
not at night or something. So
Right.
it's really hard. for Craig
And
to
that's
attend.
easier at this point, you know, Tim and I are both retired, so it's a little easier for us to do that. So anyway, that's, if you would be willing, we had talked, meeting, if you can bring that to the select board to see how they feel.
Mhm.
And we would offer to go and just bring back information and context, because, you know, I think she said there's something like $400,000 available at the state level. I may be mixing things up, but the point is, we're missing out. and that's money
We
we
did
could
get,
apply
I
for.
believe we did get some transportation money, and that's how they did the sidewalks.
Yeah,
Came through there too.
and you know, within some of the mixed use area, I don't know if there's land to put in sidewalks, but that might be the kind of funding, if there's enough land to apply for to make it safer to walk, if we're trying to encourage pedestrian traffic.
I would love one on Monona,
Yeah.
from
that-
Avery Street to Main Street.
Yeah, so in other words, but if those are the kinds of grants we could apply for, so it wouldn't cost the taxpayers to do some of that, I think it's worth looking into. We asked about charrette funding and got the clarification that a charrette cannot be for a town as a whole. It
Right.
has to be for a specific site within the town.
Right. So based on the new knowledge about the charrette.
Yeah.
I think that we should have a conversation with the Economic Development Committee, that this is actually more in their purview to take a certain section of the community and do the charrette on that and focus on that for economic development, such as what they're trying to do with the mill.
Right, and the other idea, you can either do a charrette or, and I think this might also go for master plan, which is why I think we might wanna do this part. LRPC can help us figure out a broader information gathering process for the town as a whole. And there were a number of steps that Shanna suggested. If they come in and run them, we pay. And so I have sent her the draft of this, asking her, which we talked about in the meeting, to kind of come back with a price list. Okay, if you guys ran this, what would it cost us? So that we can kind of put together a list that might go into the budget for budget planning, but also to find out how much of this could we do ourselves. So for example, she recommended something called New Hampshire Listens,
Mhm.
which is, and I went on to the New Hampshire Listens website, and you can sign up for facilitator training.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna track that because I'd like to learn how to do that. And I'm thinking that a certain amount of this, if with input and guidance, she also said that sort of mapping, there's a mapping process that I didn't entirely understand, but to identify areas in town for potential change. She said if you do that during the summer, some of their interns can do it for a lot less money.
Yeah.
So I'd like to get that price list back from her, bring it back to the board, discuss, do we want to set up a process as part of master plan planning?
So there, in 2000, when we did the master plan back then, we did use them for certain things. There's certain things that makes sense to use them for. There's certain things it does not make sense
Right.
for. So having that plan, having that will be very good.
Right, so I'm assuming she'll get back to me with that information. I'll relay it to you guys. That will give us more specific details to discuss about the sequence of steps, because this is sort of the order in which she suggested doing things.
Mhm.
I've sent it to her to make sure I got that right in my notes. But also then if we have a price list, we can decide which of the things we want to propose as a budget line and which of the things we think we could do ourselves with some consults with the LRPC. But that should all support development, the gathering of public information to support the development of the master
Mhm.
plan. Okay, and did I say that clearly? Sometimes.
I think so. I
Okay.
think we're good.
So that was basically, I said I would write up the notes, send them out, which I did.
Yeah, it was a good productive meeting, and I think we're gonna have some good benefits for
Ron,
us,
did I
which I've
miss-
been able to attend.
I don't think so.
Awesome. That brings us to RV camper regulations. Do you have anything you want to say on that?
Nope.
Okay, so,
That was fixed.
so Bethany has,
Working on it.
will be working on it. She will get together with herself and get a, proposal to us for next week
Yes.
or 2
Next week?
In 2 weeks.
Okay.
Special
Okay.
meeting.
3 weeks.
I'll call it a special meeting.
There you go.
Well, as soon-
3 weeks, isn't it? Okay. thank you.
Yeah, but if you could have it to us in 2 weeks, that way we can distribute it among everybody.
I will do
to
my
be Ready for it in
best.
3
We've got
weeks.
some training coming up that's pretty
Mhm.
extensive, so.
Okay.
If you need help with it, let me know. Blasting ordinance and excavation ordinance, the attorney is still reviewing. He's gonna be reviewing the mixed use ordinance shortly. That brings us down to correspondence. I have two correspondents. That is, first of all, we received a letter from Housing Champions. We have been denied our application on Housing Champions. We did not have enough education. We didn't get the 80 points, which really comes from the education. We weren't able to include the education that you all went to. Having that and having the one that comes up in the spring, we will have enough for it for next time with everything else that we're doing. Second thing was, there was a stormwater management class today. It was an online class. I had Jane look at that and review it. There is some very good information that she's gonna be putting together and sending to us all. They have changed the way they do the silk fencing and everything, which is really important for stormwater management. It used to be you just put up the silk fence, a couple hay barrels, and you said you're good. No longer. There's now a berm that needs to be the entire width of that fence to contain stormwater.
Yeah, you tuck in and berm,
Right,
so it retains it.
exactly.
Cause what's happening, the old way of doing it, it would just lift up. You have the water coming and the fines and everything, it just lifts the fence up and just goes under.
Hence what we have going on at the
Yeah.
storage facility.
Yep.
So, anyway, so this will, that will be a PowerPoint presentation that she's going to be emailing out to you all. So I encourage you all to take a look at it. Anything else that you may have to come before the board? Okay, so, and our November 1st meeting, our November 4th meeting, sixth meeting, whatever date it is,
Well, it's on.
yeah. At our November 6th meeting, I hope to have the excavation and the blasting ordinances back. If we do, we'll be holding the public hearing on both of those, if that is agreeable to you all. Okay, and if I have the mixed use, we will also be holding the public hearing on that. So that will put us in good shape for December.
Question, if I am trying to distill this legal stuff, am I trying to get that ready for the November 6th meeting? Cause it's a fair amount of stuff.
No,
We want to have a special working session.
we'll either have a special working session or we'll do it at our second meeting. We will have, I do know that we will have a boundary line adjustment to do at our November 6th meeting.
So I should still try to get it done, cause it's a fair amount for people to look through.
Yeah, the
So
sooner you
sooner
get
rather
done
than
for people to
later.
look through, that's great, but we're not gonna discuss it until the second meeting. Or if you feel that you're ready and we can have a special meeting, but November is gonna be a month.
Thanksgiving and everything.
Yeah, well, thanks, and that's what I was just looking to see where we fall with that. Yeah, so it'll be the 20th. So the 6th and the 20th.
Should we, if we're talking about going through all this, the changes to laws, should we plan an additional session? Cause if any of that's gonna become warrant articles.
We can have a additional session in February, in December.
Mhm.
Cause I don't think we're gonna have enough time in November because of Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So if we do probably Thursday, the 11th,
December 11th.
December 11th. I know that's a ZBA night, but I also don't believe they'll have anything to come before them then.
I'll try to get it done well in advance, so people can look it over.
Okay. The only other thing I have is that Monday night, we will be presenting our budget to the selectmen and the budget committee. So if there are any changes that need to happen, let me know. I will be suggesting that we will be proposing a warrant article for the for funds we don't know exactly how much yet for the master plan.
Mhm. So would that include the kinds of things that we were talking about with Shanna?
Yep.
Hopefully I'll hear back from her sooner rather than later, so I can send that to you, if that's this Monday.
Yes,
Next one, yeah.
this coming Monday.
All right, I will
No, 4
hear
days.
from her.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right, I will send a follow-up email to her saying that the budget is being presented to the select board on Monday. Is there anything we can at least get a draft of possible costs?
And I can, like I said, I don't have to put an amount in yet. We have a long process for the budget. I know a few people on the board. So. So, we can present that, but will let them know that we are considering one for the master plan, which is an important document for the guiding of the town. All right. If no one has anything else, I will close the meeting at 7:51.
Night, Andy.
Night, Andy.
Hi, Andy.
Bye, Andy.
You owe me.